The next item on the agenda is the CHNEP 5-year program evaluation. Noemi Mercado from the EPA headquarters, liaison and PE team lead. So the purpose is to prevent an overview of the recently completed 5-year CHNEP program evaluation, including findings and feedback. This connects to the comprehensive conservation management plan, priority actions, and quantifiable objectives.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Noemi Mercado from EPA headquarters in Washington, D.C. I have been the headquarters coordinator for the program for many years, and I feel very humble and blessed to be the coordinator for this fantastic program. Through the years, I have worked with different directors, different members of the management conference, and I have seen how the program has flourished to the point that it is recognized as a real leader in the area. This is a 5-year review that encompassed from July 2019 to September 30, 2024. And I have to say up front that all the 20 NEPs are subject to program evaluation every 5 years. This is an administrative role for the NEP to do that. And I think it's a good time for each NEP to reflect on the accomplishment of a 5-year period. Sometimes in our daily life, we don't have time to reflect on those things. And even when it is like a kind of hard job to put a package together of the reflection of a 5-year work plan accomplishment, it is a good exercise to see where we stand, what we have accomplished, what we still need to work, and if we haven't gotten to the goal that we want, it is a good time to reflect how we can implement adaptive management there. So I really appreciate all the support that all the program staff and all the partners have worked together to get to this point where we are now. We assemble a program evaluation team that it is composed by a headquarters coordinator, a regional coordinator, and an ex-officio NEP director. The value that this ex-officio NEP director brings into the process is very invaluable because it is the feedback of a colleague at the same level of the NEPs. And sometimes we as headquarters, like we get engaged in bureaucracy things that it is hard for us sometimes to understand. And that is the value that an ex-officio NEP director brings into the program. So, and we have visitors during this review that it is a privilege to have those visitors, high-level managers from headquarters and from the regions. Not all the time that happens. And I'm going to give the opportunity to each of the members to introduce themselves, but I have to recognize first the work that Rachel Hart from Region 4 has been providing to the NEP program through the years. She recently left the agency, so somebody else from Region 4 is taking that position, and she's going to introduce herself. So with that, I'm going to let the members, visitors and members of the team to introduce themselves.
So I'm one of the visitors. Hi everyone, I'm Cindy Barger. I'm the manager at EPA headquarters for our partnership programs branch, which includes National Estuaries Program, Urban Waters and Trash-Free Waters. I just joined this program a year ago permanently. I've been with EPA since 2019, and prior to that, I was with the Corps of Engineers for years doing ecosystem restoration, watershed planning, and community planning, both at the regional and the headquarters level. I first, on behalf of both our administrator and our acting assistant administrator for water, we are so thankful for and so proud of the National Estuary Program and the partnerships such as CHNEP. For the work you do. It really embodies key priorities for the administrator of clean water for every American. I saw that in all the wonderful folks I was able to meet through this site visit. And then the other one of partnership. It was also exhibited wonderfully during the site visit of seeing how you all work together, how you identify your priorities, how you, with CHP's guidance, you're creating puzzle pieces that fit together moving forward successes. And our funds are just adding to that and being leveraged to do wonderful, great, and amazing things. So I'm really appreciative of getting to know you all better, getting to know the work you do, and seeing on the ground the difference that you are all making. So thank you.
Hi, my name is Felicia Burks, and I work for EPA in Atlanta office, the regional office. I actually am responsible for now 3 of the Southwest Florida NEPs. So I have Tampa Bay, which is part of Polk County, and you guys have the other half. Sarasota Bay, which Sarasota County, you have the other half. And also now in Coastal and Heartland NEP, all 3 share Manatee County. So I feel like this is just part of completing the puzzle. You know, we've always worked together, these 3 NEPs. I will be working with the estuary program in the day-to-day activities. I help them with the work plan, managing the grants, any of their needs, gaps, technical support. I'm here for them. Kind of like an extended person for you, Jennifer, to call at the regional office to kind of help through. I am very familiar with the estuary program, the value of it and what we do, what you guys do as a team partnership. NEPs are valuable and important to the environment, to the economy, and also to the communities we serve. So I look forward to working with each of you, and I'd like to thank personally all the folks we met during these last couple of days. It was a phenomenal trip. Jennifer and her staff for hosting us. I know it wasn't an easy feat, herding cats with EPA, but thank you so much for that. And I just look forward to working with each of you. And I failed to mention, I am on the management board. I did my first management board meeting with Coastal and Heartland Friday. So I am participating in that. I am on the management board member also for Sarasota and Tampa. So look forward to being here meeting with all of you and talking to you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Curtis Boland. I'm the director of the Casco Bay Estuary Partnership, which is a national estuary program like the Coastal and Heartland one, but we're in Maine. So I came down here just for the weather. I picked the wrong week, but no. I wanted to also echo the, I've been through 3 of these as one of the NEP directors going through this, and the amount of work that is involved in pulling together a comprehensive packet, reviewing what the organization's done for 5 years, telling the story of how things have changed, and then putting together an incredible couple of days of field visits with many of you who are around the room who we saw over the last few days. And what came through loud and clear to me is not only how much work went into doing it, which thank you everybody for doing, but also a real sense of commitment to shared mission that I heard from everybody. And it wasn't just sort of, yeah, we like those guys. It was, these guys are really helpful. They're doing a lot for us. And I'm not sure I could do as good a job getting as many people out to say quite as many loud, wonderful things. So I really wanted to highlight just the degree to which I think there's a really strong sense of pulling everything together at the regional scale that I really appreciate it. And it's really nice to see and really nice to hear. So thank you for pulling us all together, and we'll keep going through the rest of the slides.
Thank you. In addition, I want to mention that Kathleen Butler, the director for the Water Division in Region 4, was with us during the meeting, and that is a real privilege to have such high managers to be doing the site visit. It is a great opportunity to get to know firsthand the NEP program. And also, those are the ambassadors that carry the word to higher managers at the regional level and the headquarters. And we were lucky also to have the company of Becky Alemach, and she's the co-chair. She was in all the site visits yesterday with us. So here are a collage of pictures of What we did in the last 2 days here, Jennifer put a very strong agenda for each of the places that we visit. We were lucky enough to meet partners, some of those faces I see here today. We visit sites like I'm here from the Charlotte Harbor Flatwoods Initiative. We went to Arcadia and hear the work that they're doing with vulnerability assessment and trying to create resilience for the town. We heard from the Mayaca headquarters restoration. Visit the Blackbird Ranch and hear about the work with cattle ranchers. For me, that was the highlight of the trip because it was something unique and different that I haven't seen in all the years that I have been working with the NEPs. Of course, that doesn't mean that I diminish the rest of the places that we visit, but this was something completely new in my first experience. So thank you, Jennifer, and the staff and all the partners that accompany us during the site visit. I'm going to give you a little brief of the purpose of why doing the program evaluation, what are the areas that we will use, how we use that information at EPA, and also a review on progress made since the last review in 2020. What are the strengths that this team seems to see that struggles, and also what are the opportunities moving forward that the program might have in the future. The purpose is mainly to ensure the adequate progress is being made with the CCNP implementation, and at the same time to determine if it is a good progress, if we deserve the continuation of further support. Highlight each program's unique environmental resources, strengths, and opportunities for improvement. Identify areas where EPA can help provide resources to meet needs and enhance performance of the NEP. And this doesn't necessarily have to be economically. We have technical support at headquarters levels that we can provide to the program. Confirm EPA's continued technical support for the NEPs and to seek stakeholders' commitment to the program, and identify and share new techniques and approaches that help achieve environmental results. So this situation that we have of Curtis, the Casco Bay NEP is one very good example of how he can share things that he's doing with his programs, and at the same time, Jennifer to highlight how the program is managing things here. Next, how EPA uses the program evaluation results. This is more important than ever. Resources are very limited, so we need to really show the value of the NEP as a whole and as individuals. So we highlight NEP success stories and achievements shared on EPA website, used for congressional briefings, meetings with partners, etc. We are under a lot of pressure all the time, responding to fire drills to Congress on questions related to the NEP. So when we have this information in hand, we're ready to respond for that. Opportunities identified for potential improvement help. Informs the decision of funding support at headquarters levels, make connections to other EPA offices and programs through NEP's Clean Water Act involvement. That has been a very big push, especially in the last couple of years, to integrate how this program fits into other programs at EPA headquarters. And we share products, approaches, and lessons learned across EPA and NEPs. And we have brochures, we publish that in website. So we're always doing our diligence to show and demonstrate the value of the NEPs. What are the key areas that we evaluate? We have a guidance that recently was updated again in 2025 to respond to the executive orders languages that we have in place now. So we first look at a programmatic work plan accomplishment with the related to the people funds and to the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act funds. We look at those work plan accomplishments in three big major areas: a healthy ecosystem, clean waters, and strong communities. We think that each individual NEP can fit the work plan activities into those three big areas that accomplish the mission of the NEPs. So what I'm going to be reporting here on work plan accomplishment are going to be specifically related to those three areas. Then we look for how the NEP program is doing in implementation regarding administration and governance structure, grant obligations and finance, budget summary, and what are the opportunities for improvement for the NEP in the activities. And we also look at this big umbrella of NEP ecosystem and community status, and we look closely in relation to community and stakeholders engagement, education and outreach, monitoring and assessment, clean water and programs relationship, and how they relate to EPA priorities that at this moment has to do with reduction in nutrient pollution, make resilience investment to address recurring extreme weather events, and engagement of all communities. So this as a whole the program has to prepare a program evaluation executive summary with supporting documentation, and the team review all that documentation and start conversations back and forth among the team members, among the program's staff and the director. As you can see, it's a very comprehensive evaluation, and we really appreciate the time that the program invests in putting this package together. So some of the highlights right away from the whole process, we can tell for sure that the program has been effective in implementing the actions outlined in the CCNP through a variety of projects. The program is perceived as an honest broker, collaboration with its partners, and a stakeholder commitment to implementing the CCNP goals and actions has helped the program manage and address major environmental and emerging issues within the study area. During the 5-year review period, the program experienced several challenges like 3 hurricanes, the COVID-19 pandemic, transition to a non-host entity, the influx of the IIJ money that brought also its constraint, and against all odds, the program demonstrated its ability to adapt quickly and efficiently. So this is a big thing to highlight here, that even when all these challenges, the program keeps their pace implementing their CCNP, and not only that, demonstrating environmental progress. Also, big kudos to the management conference ability to anticipate, recruit, and envision a path forward. It's impressive in reflecting of the strong leadership and guidance, including talented and committed staff. And lastly, the program's commitment to engage all communities is evident in many engagement activities through the study that are accessible to a wide range of communities. And we were able to witness this kind of commitment through the partners collaborating together through a common goal. So I'm very thankful for seeing that kind of commitment and collaboration here in the area. For the 5-year review period, the program protect and restore over 308,000 acres in different areas of agriculture, forests, and so on, and leverage over 237 million. So feel proud of this big accomplishment here. In terms of progress from the last review in 2020, EPA made two recommendations. One was related to enhancements of the water atlas, and the other was seeking operational efficiencies and improvement. So in this video, we confirm that the program move forward with the water atlas and create a 2.0 version that is more functional. It offers expanded resources for the body, including new analytical tools and interactive mappers for each water body. In addition, it houses water quality, hydrology, wildlife habitat, resilience, and weather data. Whenever I talk at headquarters about this water atlas, it seems that this is the envy for all the NEPs. This is like the main goal of each NEP to have one place to look for all this information that can create trends and show real environmental progress. In terms of operational efficiencies and improvement, at the beginning of fiscal year 23, the program moved to a new fiscal host entity that have provided expanded operational support services, a more efficient system for tracking, reporting, and expanding the program's financial resources. This is very critical given the influx of the IIJA money at this moment. So the program is getting the help that it needs. Moving forward with the preliminary findings that we see here, there are a lot of accomplishments that you should all, as a whole, feel proud. But these are the things that struck the most to the NEPs, and we were able to witness some of these areas. In relation to healthy ecosystem, continue coordinating planners' effort around habitat protection and restoration. Funded and managed two important watershed initiatives, such as the Charlotte Harbor Flatwoods Initiative and the Southly County Watershed Initiative, with aim to restore more natural hydrology across the landscape. And it is completely in sync with one of the themes of the CCMP that talks about hydrology. Partner with local NGOs and the Southwest Florida Management District to conserve and restore 432 acres of Mayaca headwaters preserve a hydrological altar area that it is critical to the Mayaca River. Yesterday we walked through the area and I was very impressed the way during the hurricane that area accumulated water and was like a filter for flooding control. Funded planning design and permitting for the one mineral springs restoration. One of Florida's natural one springs considered the important water refuge for manatees to be furthermore in South Florida. And this is completely aligned with local initiative here of the protection of manatees. Additionally, the program participates in evergreen restoration projects relevant to the region, including serving as science coordination group there. Related to clean waters, continue coordinating partners' efforts around water quality improvement initiative. The program funded and coordinates the Coastal Charlotte Harbor Monitoring Network, a partnership of agencies that provide monthly water quality data from 10 historic. This data is utilized by partners to assess ongoing resources management actions and regulatory programs. Provide technical support in regional initiatives focusing on reducing point and non-point source of pollution, nutrient, harmful algal blooms, pathogens, stormwater runoff, excess sediment, plastics, and other litter. And specifically with the last one, plastic and other litter, this is completely aligned with another initiative that we have at headquarters that has to do with trash-free waters. Provide support to total maximum daily load implementation, more natural fresh water, flow, and other practices that protect water resources. And organize scientific conference summits to allow sharing technical information from a wide variety of backgrounds and disciplines related to hydrology, fisheries, research, aquatic habitat restoration, and water quality. I have to congratulate Jennifer and the staff because at headquarters for many years I have been organizing national meetings, and I know how difficult and hard it is to put those meetings together. So I cannot imagine how doing this scientific conference efforts are for the program. So I'm proud to see that the program continues doing this. In relation to strong communities, led a variety of initiatives to build and support strong communities, and through conservation grants that goes up to almost $10,000. They provide for people and entities for projects that address clean water, habitat protection, restoration, and outreach priorities in the programs area. Commission an economic valuation study of economic activity tied to natural resources. And overall, natural resources in the area generates more than 13.6 billion in total output and support more than 148 jobs annually. This is a very good thing to do, and we are encouraging all NEPs to try to do economic valuation because it shows with tangible results the value of having this program in place and how the natural resources impact the economy in the area. Committed funding to a comprehensive vulnerability assessment in each of the 10 counties the program serves. This assessment includes modeling of critical assets and infrastructure and planning on how to adapt them to reduce potential environmental and public health risks. 5 of those programs are underway now. We're living a critical situation now where natural disasters are happening more often, flooding. So seeing the program working in these counties and encouraging the members to continue doing assessment. It is creating resilience in the area. And assisted in disaster response and recovery efforts, including coordinating water sampling efforts, assisting in post-storm data analysis, and hosting community cleanups. So in these 3 areas, those are the strongest things that we see. And now I'm going to let Curtis lead us into a discussion on the areas of opportunities that we see for the program moving forward.
Before I get into the details of the slide, I just thought it might be worth providing a little context to understanding the diversity of the National S2 programs. And so I thought I'd just tell you that in my watershed, ice fishing is probably a more important recreational activity than marine fishing. And there are several ski areas in the watershed. I have a lake that's over 375 feet deep in the watershed. We have no carbonate rocks in the watershed anywhere. It's pretty different landscape. And yet, there's a real set of commonalities about what we can do as estuary programs in terms of thinking about what is our secret sauce? What can we bring together in terms of bringing people together and finding ways to coordinate work and trying to find ways to get work that's done more effectively because we're around. We have some flexibility in how we're able to do that often partners don't. There's some neat little things we can bring to the table as national estuary programs. And as we were thinking about opportunities for this, I think what I was thinking about at any rate was really recognizing what the program already has in place for strengths that are things can be leveraged for areas where we see substantial need in the region. So rather than thinking of these as being any sort of there's something that needs to be worked on, it's more to say, here's some real opportunities where there's some room where we think the program is well suited to get work done, using some of that. I like to think of it as the NEP secret sauce, and moving in directions that we see and heard from many partners of some really substantial need in the region. So the first one of these is focusing on what we phrased as watershed planning and restoration initiatives. We saw a number of those projects in the field over the last few days. We read about more Watershed planning restoration initiatives are, in this region in particular, where the watersheds are hard to tell. When did I cross the watershed divide? I'm not quite sure. This kind of large-scale planning and data collection is really important to create that framework for understanding how you can improve water quality, but here also how you can manage other resources on the land. And that combination, I think, requires a larger scale thinking, larger scale planning that I think this group is well suited to do because of the technical expertise of the staff and all the relationships that you represent here in the room. That's the secret to getting this kind of work done. So these initiatives really are about assessing watershed condition, trying to identify what stressors are important, trying to figure out what you can do, and look for those cross connections with other needs in the region so that the work you do on water quality benefits other folks as well. And ultimately, protect and restore aquatic ecosystems. And the sort of thought we're heading towards here is putting more effort into developing these sort of watershed planning and restoration initiatives, conducting more water quality analyses, identifying pollution hotspots, potential remediation actions, generally looking at that larger scale and trying to pull together those larger regional, again, I just did the math a minute ago. You guys in the last 5 years restored and protected about half the area of our entire service area, the Casco Bay watershed. So again, scale matters here, and you guys are operating at a really big scale, and this kind of regional planning has real weight to it. And the other thing that we see here that came up a lot today is already in the meeting is thinking about your role, helping to think about how to deal with hurricanes and other major storm events, which is really remarkable to see a National SRE program playing that role. Let's move on to the next one. And the other one is really thinking about coordination around water quality and water quality monitoring. This is another area where I think the structure here makes this particularly challenging. There are a lot of different organizations collecting data, and figuring out how do you help make that come together as a meaningful whole, as a region, requires the kind of coordination that I think National SRE programs are often ideally suited to do. You're already in that world. You're already working with these folks through the Water Atlas. You already have the relationships with many of these players. And that feels to me like an area where there's a potential for additional thinking. One of the things that I thought was very interesting came up originally in the written material was thinking about helping to coordinate work around, again, response to storm events and other sudden events. What kind of monitoring coordination can happen on a larger scale around that kind of work? So finding ways to provide more of that coordination to help build more consistent water quality sampling and do more things like the trend analysis that you all just completed. So again, both of these to me, what I was seeing was areas of great strength where there's also substantial needs still in the region of moving forward, and it seems like a great role for you all to be able to move forward and get things done. Did I miss anything? I didn't use your words, I used ideas.
Yeah, before we move forward, I'm going to give you a little bit of time to reflect on these areas of opportunities, and if you have to say something, this is the time to do so. If not,
For
Anyway?
us.
And well, I think we do an incredible job of outreach and coordinating with the partners. We are such a big and diverse area over here. And there's so many different entities that have, different roles. DEP's focused on water quality and their focus is on identifying those hotspots and things along those lines, and then working with the communities to help implement those. And I know the team here at NEP, that we work really closely with DEP and all the other players out there already on a lot of these over here. And I kind of feel like we are addressing a lot of their recommendations already. I think we do a pretty good job. There's always room for improvement. There's always room to get more partners involved in it. But I think the staff here do just a tremendous job in outreach and coordinating with folks. And a lot of people on the table will support that. So,
I guess if I may, being the Charlotte County rep here and Charlotte Harbor being of kind of paramount across the quality of the harbor, and a lot of our economy revolves around it. I think the recommendations are well taken, and to Phil's point, there's a lot that CHNEP does to execute on these recommendations already. And we've had great working relationships, as was kind of discussed on the boat ride, and how we kind of coordinate these efforts. But there is also an opportunity in that, to Phil's point, we have agencies like DEP that ostensibly are responsible for doing things like hotspot analysis and whatnot. But if we're being honest, they're pretty overwhelmed. There are a lot of impaired waters in the state, and way more for them to try to address than the resources are there for them to address. And so I think that one of the things that we've been talking to CHNEP about, and they've been moving towards as well, is that further regional coordination on how we address the pollution issues that we are dealing with in the harbor that are substantial. And from what we can tell, based on the research that they've been supporting, are worsening. So I think that need for regional scale efforts to continue getting all of us at the table that represent these areas to try to work together to figure out opportunities for addressing where these pollutants are coming from and what we can do about it is going to be extraordinarily important. And I know, at risk of speaking out of turn, I think any support we can get from all sectors, including the federal side, to help with that, because those are going to be immensely expensive efforts. I mean, as you well know, we had a conversation on the boat about modeling, and our modeling needs, and just that alone is a huge price tag, but also vitally important to even figuring out the next steps towards addressing, water quality issues and whatnot. And so, I would first like to thank CHNEP for the work that they've been doing to kind of keep us moving in that direction, but also just sort of highlight that they're gonna need additional support too, I think, in order to accomplish these really big, bold goals of addressing the pyramid size of what we have in Charlotte Harbor. And
I think Noemi's first slide talks about one of the roles of these is for us as NEPs to sort of cross-fertilize ideas in various ways. And so with that spirit in mind, yeah, if I can help you thinking about all the things one can do with models that we've had to figure out what we did and what our communities need, reach out.
Yeah, great.
We've been learning how to do it, or how to get other people to do it better.
Thank you.
We've tripped over our feet a few times, so we've learned a few things.
Appreciate that.
I really appreciate the feedback that you gave to us here. We recognize that the programs and the partners are working in that direction. So the message here is to keep vigilant and focusing on these things, because we know that the area is under a lot of pressure, development, nutrients and those things. So just to continue paying attention and in the areas that you can possibly make a difference to do so. So in terms of next steps for this program evaluation process, the PE team will draft a program evaluation letter with the specific findings and recommendations. Those are the ones that we are already discussing here. We're going to have a further conversation at managers level, at headquarters and region, elaborating that letter. But at this moment, we don't see red flags that prevent you from a good rating here. So, but further conversation have to take place. The letter will be shared with the program for comments, incorporate feedback and submit to EPA management for signature. The signed copy will be sent to the NEP program director. Hopefully, that this letter can come early during the summer. The program will work with 3 or 4 and the management conference to advance the opportunities. And in 5 more years, we will come back again to reassess the program, see the progress done in the areas of opportunity, and see the new accomplishment of the program. I want to, so kudos to the program. You should be proud of all the accomplishment and also the work that you have ahead. Continue doing the same thing that you're doing, because you're doing it good. And I want to close with a reflection that brought the Florida Wildlife Corridor person yesterday. My supervisor asked her, like, wow, what is the message that you want me to carry to the headquarters? And her words struck me. She said, the program, the Costa and Highland NDP is where the magic happens. It's the program where that brings a regional perspective and partial perspective that brings together all these partners together. So I'm going to stick with that. The program is where the magic happens. You should all feel proud of that because you're part of this effort. So that's all I have to say, and I'm going to let Cindy, the big cheese, to have her last words here.
Yeah, so, once again, thank you for hosting us. In addition to, as Noemi was going over, the purpose of the program evaluation, another kind of huge purpose is we use our program evaluation for the NEP to withstand audits within the government. And the work that you all are doing here, the adaptation you all have done from the last one, these things are the things that make us shine as a program, and our program evaluations be seen as an example for other programs of how we work together, how we assess, how we reflect, how we adapt, and continue moving forward with wise use of federal funds. And in this day and age, that's a really important thing to say. And as Noemi mentioned, I have absolutely no red flags. I saw massive successes. I see you moving forward in these opportunities. I also, as being new to the program, learning from the staff that this NEP was founded for protection first, and you're having to shift to restoration because of all these external factors. And you've done it really quickly. It also in seeing how, honestly, when I saw how you expanded the boundary, I'm like, how are they doing this? This is so much work. And then meeting the partners and seeing how it's really getting to the problems that you're facing, and how quickly you've built those partnerships. I was the magic happening. I know Beth was telling me, like, when I asked her the same question about, we're doing it. We need the support to fill in those gaps, but we're doing it. And that's what I saw. I saw that you all are doing it. And I also saw, I also was hearing from Big Waters that, you all as a partnership are planning for a resilient economic and ecological future. And those are so important. So I'm just really impressed. One of the other ones, and this is, I also want to say, thank you, Jennifer, to your patience. Thank you to the policy committee for the patience. I know as we're going through government efficiency, things with our grants have been difficult. And seeing how you've pivoted and how you're really thinking about in the full partnership, what is the role with the funding sources and your skill sets that you're coming in and doing what's smart to move things forward together. I've been in many other partnerships in watersheds where there's a lot of duplication, and this one is so efficient. I think it's just an exemplary example. So I just really, really appreciate that. And and it's gonna be hard. I mean, in addition to having, these big opportunities for you, there's a lot of changes coming. And as Noemi mentioned, and you all are experiencing, the resources are getting smaller, and it having to work, you are already working smart, you're gonna have to be working at genius level. And it's how do we do that together? I know from us and EPA, we are dedicated to supporting as where we can, as we have restricting resources, but our program is much healthier than other programs in EPA because of these partnerships. So I just thank you. I look forward to a long future and hopefully coming back and seeing you in 2030, if not before. I also have to say, so I'm sure Jennifer told you, we were really hoping, and she was hoping our acting assistant administrator for water to come down at the last minute. She got pulled into supporting the administrator with the congressional hearing. But I'm gonna try my darndest to get her down here because I know she would have loved every second of it. You know, it's really powerful seeing what you all are doing in this area. So thank you.
So with that, I'm going to ask for a big applause.
Well, I really appreciate all the kind words, but I want to first recognize that we're just the staff to support you all as the partners in the partnership. And it really, none of this work wouldn't be possible without everyone who's sitting around this table and online and many others who have participated in the CHNEP, because it's coming together where like the magic does happen, the synergy, the exchange. And sometimes you don't, you know, it's hard to take time out to do that, but there's so many benefits, and we have created so many partnerships and collaborations through just sitting around a table a couple times a year to have these conversations. And then, oh, you're working on that? We're doing something similar. Why don't we talk? Or we need, you know, that information or advice on that because you've already been down that road. So I just want to first recognize the members of the CHNEP who serve on our policy committee, our management committee, our citizens advisory committee, and our technical advisory committee, all the people who devote time. I mean, literally, when you add up all the committees, I mean, we're talking definitely over 100 people who are actively serving in the partnership right now. And that is always evolving and changing. And so we just really thank you for taking time to stay with us and stay in this process with us, because, you know, I think we can continue to do great things more together. The sum is greater than the individual parts, really. And that's what we've been able to witness as staff and what fills our cups in helping to serve you. And understand where are there gaps, where, you know, and trying to put people together, you know, where are there resources to match with needs. And that is what we continue to look forward to do over the next 5 years, is just more of that. And hopefully with even expanded focus in a couple of the areas that we have started to embark upon with our new CCMP, disaster recovery being one of the new activities that was just folded in our 2025 approved CCMP. So, which all of you in your organizations and entities had a hand in writing. So it's, again, it's not, sometimes people think of us, they don't know if we're a nonprofit or are you government or what are you guys? But really, we're just the staff to support you all. We're just the staff to try to convene and facilitate this partnership. And I think we can continue to do amazing things together over the next 5 years to support one another and advance things on a regional scale, on a watershed scale. Because obviously water doesn't stop at county lines or city lines. We need to think big, and we need to work together to turn around certain things, improve the Peace River, improve our lake systems, improve other rivers, our estuaries. We do see signs of distress. We have a lot of challenges, a lot of new factors coming in, like the more intense, increased frequency of hurricanes. That are presenting new challenges. So, I mean, I'm not going to lie, it's not going to be an easy, it doesn't look easy ahead. We need more money. Number one, not just us, but like everyone at this table needs more money to do the things to upgrade these aging infrastructure systems, stormwater, wastewater systems, you know, enhance infrastructure, harden it, raise it. It's a lot of money. And so, you know, I think we're a bit of a drop in the bucket of the need, but we do our best to really stretch the money we do get. And we're always looking for more and trying to feed those state and federal, you know, we have our state and federal funding fact sheet. You're always able to go and download that. Our staff constantly updates that as we get information and refreshes that so that it can be a resource for your staff
to know where there is money still available that you can tap into. So, you know, it's our pleasure as the staff. And again, I've already given a shout out to the team, but I obviously don't do this alone. It is a small but mighty team that works very hard and diligently to try to facilitate the work that we do to support you all. And so I just want to recognize all of them as well. And just thank all of you for your continued commitment to this. I know it's a challenge, and sometimes even when you're here, it's like, what am I getting out of this? But it's sometimes harder, like the reflection process. I will just say in closing, like this program evaluation, yes, it's a ton of extra work for us. You know, we put together these gorgeous, I have to just show off, like our briefing booklets, you know, with like maps and descriptions, and we have a 50-page program evaluation report, and we did all this planning. But you know what? It was all worth it because it fills our cups up to actually, we rarely sometimes, and not enough, get out to see our own projects and get to walk on the, you know, boots on the ground and reflect, like you said. I mean, reflection is so powerful. I mean, I told them I left more inspired than I think any of them were, because, you know, we just don't get enough time to kind of see the fruits of our labor and to talk with other partners to figure out how valuable what we did was to their efforts. And so hearing that was just gratifying and renews us for the next 5 years. So just, you know, thank you to EPA for coming down and being part of that. And to all of you, and many of you who were presenters and participated in the PE process as well. So thank you.
With that said, you have to excuse Cindy and I. We have a plane to take. We are the good people at EPA with hardly money to travel. But one thing we were sure was to save that little bit of money to travel just to do this site visit. So now we have to catch at 1:30 a federal fair plane.
Yes, you better run.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Felicia, for staying, and for Curtis for staying for the remainder of the meeting as well.